Close to Home, a personal look at the opioid epidemic in Iowa.
I've been coming to UCS for about 4 years now. I've got 3 years sober. This is the first time I've ever been able to stay sober in a treatment plan or facility. I've been to 9 different ones before UCS, and they really changed my life. I thought the Suboxone was pretty good, it worked well, but the methadone really makes it to where you don't have any withdrawals. And so within a 6-month span, I went from having nowhere to live in a shelter to having a job and living in an apartment with a roommate. My story goes pretty far back. My father passed away when I was 4, and then my niece, when I was 12, she was 2 months old, she died in our apartment, in our house. And when that happened, that's when I started smoking marijuana. And then I found out that my stepfather was abusing my sisters, and my mom ended up having him kicked out and divorced him, and that led to more using. And as I got to in my teens, I started doing a lot of different drugs, experimenting with cocaine and methamphetamines, a lot of different pills, prescription medications. The prescription medication was the first one that I did, and that was out of my mom's bathroom cabinet. And I hear that story all the time, but it's so true. You know, that was the first pill I ever took, was from her. She had a wisdom tooth removed, and she didn't finish taking them, and she just left it in there. And she assumed my sisters took them, but it was me. And from that point on, I was pretty much hooked. It was a very immediate thing that happened. The medication was hydrocodone, and when I took it, I went to school, and I was able to do all my homework and go to all my classes and get there on time and focus, and I just thought it was like a miracle drug. And I was like, wow, I can really get things done with this. But then that turns around really quickly, because it's like whenever you first find out that your body needs it, it's a big slap in the face. It's like, whoa, I'm sick here, what is going on? I can't go to my parents, my mom, and I can't go to teachers. So I ended up getting in a lot of trouble in school, and I got caught smoking marijuana on campus, and I was expelled from high school. And so I talked my mom into letting me go to a private Christian school, and I went there, and I was still having problems. I went to a teacher, finally got the nerve, and I told her that I was having problems with pain pills. And she suggested that we go down and talk to the counselor. So we go down there. They locked me in a room by myself, called my mom, and pretty much told her to take me home because I was no longer welcome there. Yeah, so I was expelled from another school. And so I went to several different treatment facilities, and none of them stuck. I think maybe 6 months was my max that I would max out at. And eventually CPS was called, and my son was taken. And so I went into a whole nother deep depression. And that happened 2 more times with my 2 younger kids. Their father was very abusive, and I stayed in that relationship for about 8 years, and just scraping by, barely getting by, because the only thing we were doing was going to doctors and getting pills, and I mean, that was our everyday. And when we first split up, I thought, why is this happening to me? Why doesn't he love me? He left me for someone else. And now I can say, thank God he left me. You know, thank God he found somebody else, you know. Wow, this place is huge. I never really, you know, been at a treatment center that was so open. And, you know, when I came in and I dosed the first time and I went to a class for the first time, it was like, I can do this, you know, this isn't that bad. Well, we're able to focus on things that are the things to keep us as responsible adults, like looking for a job or maybe going back to school. Those are some options that I had at that and now, but I didn't have those options before because the only thing I was doing was just making sure that I wasn't sick, you know. And when I came here, I was able to, like you said, couple that together, and it made a big difference. My life is different in every possible way. I'm safe. I'm happy. I'm being more responsible. My uncle always told me he wanted me to become a productive citizen of society, and he didn't want to find me dead, you know, on the roadside somewhere. And every phone call he got, he was so worried, you know, that that's what was going on. And now I can call him and tell him, you know, we're struggling, but only because, you know, we need some money, you know, and that's our biggest problem is, you know, just finances and putting that kind of stuff together. I don't have to worry about, you know, my next fix or if he's gonna hit me or, you know, any of the other bad stuff that was going on. So this is the mandala that I made, and there's trees down here, and those are for you know, going outside, nature, animals. And then I put stars for representing the nighttime because I love the nighttime. And then in the back there's a roller coaster of life, and then in the front is my heart, and it's been broken because I don't have my children, but it's been buttoned together by 3 little hearts, and those are my kids. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be where I'm at now, because I want to be better for them for when they get older.